Hello YouTube Nation, this is Ron with RTR Gearheads. I'm about to have a video here just giving you guys an update on the LS Swap Trans Am. It's been a trying time. It's been taking me a lot longer than it should because one arm and everybody's schedules are busy. I'll go over something that my dad actually came up and helped with. Luckily he was able to come up here and take care of a situation to move the swap one further. So without further ado, I'll be back with you in a second. Alright, here we go YouTube Nation. Like I said, we are doing the LS swap on the 1980 Trans Am. This motor actually came out of a 2005 GMC Yukon. It is a 4.8. Went ahead and bought swap in a box as was advertised. Supposedly had everything in the box you need. Make sure if you're doing this, before you go and buy a swap in a box, try to look up each individual part, because like this oil pan here, it'll work. Unfortunately, the bolts that came with it, they were all the same size. When there's two back by the flywheel, that actually have to be smaller. And as you can see here, there's actually AN fittings down here which force you to do a oil filter relocation kit. Use a oil filter relocation kit. I did order another oil pan that actually still has the oil filter here. It's looks like a stock oil pan. Of course, it's just got some of the depth cut off. It's actually the same depth as that one though. So if anybody's looking for a swap oil pan, I've got one. It's not even mounted, but it's just sitting up there loosely right now. Do we have the headers? What I was talking about earlier, my father came up. When we got the motor, we realized there was, of course, like the normal GMs and the LSs, there was actually 3 snapped off exhaust manifold bolts. 2 of them came out fairly easy. The other one, my father actually came up, no welding a nut. He actually drilled it out and put a Healy coil in there, got it deep enough so we were able to use the original bolt that went in there with the headers. And that is all ready. I have the oil pan coming. There is my 4L60E. Notice right here on the ground, those are the stock fittings that were in there. Just unscrewed those and the TH350 fittings went right in. There's my trans control. I have a drive shaft in there now, just a yoke in there now, just temporarily, from the Turbo 350. And we'll go over to the actual car. I know you guys have been getting clips of this off and on. As you see, I did remove the power antenna, since there is an antenna in the windshield. We do have the new mounts in there. As you can see, they bolted to the Chevy bolt pattern that was on there versus the BOP bolt pattern. We go over here. I did remove right now, the whole box is off. But we're not going AC with this car. It's T-top. Yeah, the sun will beat down on us, but I didn't want to go through the hassle of that. So we are actually putting the AC box delete plate on here, and the lower motor will go back in. The defrost and heat will still work, just no AC. And right down there you can see I still have a stock cross member, and here I have the actual swap mounts that we used. I do have a new cross member, transmission cross member in here also. Hopefully once the new oil pan comes, we'll be able to mount everything up and get the motor and trans at least installed and sitting. I'll be away from the garage for about a week anyway, so I at least want to get it mounted in there. We'll get the inner fenders put on and start laying the wiring. We are going to use the stock 4.8 wiring harness. Look over here, we do have a fuse panel for it, the under the hood fuse panel. We're not going to do a standalone. The PCM has already been sent off. We're waiting to get that back from North Carolina PCM. So we get the VATs deleted and the rear two O2 sensors. But just wanted to give you guys an update. See here, we got the nice gas pedal, because we found out that it is a drive-by wire, not drive-by cable. So we're going to be pulling the Trans Am's actual gas pedal out in order to go ahead and put the Yukon's gas pedal in. And then there's a starter. I do have the Corvette fuel filter slash with the internal regulator. Those are my collectors. I have some odds and ends as far as gauges, so I can still run the mechanical gauges. Just want to give you guys an update. Again, this is Ron with RTR Gearheads. Go ahead and hit that subscribe. Let us know what you think. We're really trying to get the subscription rate up. That way we know that we're not wasting your time viewing videos that you might not like. Get your feedback and find videos that you might actually, be interested in us doing. Again, I've showed this in the past. This is Junior's. Believe it or not, it was a Honda Shadow, I believe. Completely stock when he got it. And he actually went and did it bobber style. There's a Harley you guys are all familiar with. Once the Trans Am's done, I'm going to get back to work on the Harley. I have to go through and Loctite and torque everything down after we found out that the rocker box was leaking. And then over here we have Junior's nice little Civic, EG hatch, and then we have the 383 here. This was originally my father's El Camino. The guy that he bought the El Camino from had taken the 454 out and put this in. I put the 454 in one of his Impalas. So as soon as Dad got this, we actually ran it for a little bit, saw how it ran, and then pulled this and actually put 454 back, a 454 in his El Camino, because it is a true SS that he has. Again, this is Ron with RTR Gearheads. Just giving you guys an update on the garage. And again, hit that subscribe button, let us know what you think, and thanks for watching.